Our tech reporter, Matthew Braga, joins me now. Welcome.
Hey, Duncan.
So why Montreal?
So this city is a hotbed for AI research. It's been for some time, and I think Facebook would be silly not to try and get involved, right? Because we've already got Google and Microsoft, for example, both spending their own millions to establish hubs in these cities, really trying to take advantage of the very small pool of talent that exists, right? There's not a lot of people who are able to do the really complex work that these companies need, and so they're all trying to kind of flock to these hubs, right, where these particular skill sets exist. We actually spoke to Mike Schrepfer, who's Facebook's chief technology officer, and he told us a little bit more.
When we looked at new sites and places to go, we found two things in Montreal. One is it actually has quite a bit of history in AI with people like Yoshua Bengio, who along with Yann LeCun and Jeff Hinton were some of the pioneers of our current revolution in AI, and a conscious investment by the Canadian national and regional governments to invest in AI.
Yeah, and Joelle Pineau, she is a professor at McGill University, and she was actually picked to lead this lab that Facebook is setting up there. She'll be splitting her time between Facebook and also, back at McGill as well, really trying to kind of continue to sort of train that future generation that I think Facebook and those other companies are looking for.
Okay, well, Facebook, we've seen, has some serious challenges. I mean, they're looking at fake news, malicious advertising, privacy, online harassment. Is artificial intelligence going to fix or change any of that?
Yeah, so artificial intelligence, I mean, Facebook has said in the past that, Facebook could not exist today without AI. It really does permeate everything they do. And so, when we were talking with Mike Schrepfer earlier, he was sidestepping a few questions about sort of fake news and the election and sort of transparency around how its advertising and its algorithms kind of work. He did talk a little bit about the role that AI is already playing, right, in helping to understand sort of the context and the sentiment behind what's posted on the site, right, which is a big part of sort of moderating things like hateful speech and racist speech when that sort of appears. And so he told us a little bit more about that.
There's kind of what we call intent detection or natural language processing. We're trying to understand, is this a joke, or is this a comment, or is this, harassing in some form? And I think we're using techniques like that now to help certainly get things like spam off the site and help moderate whenever we can. But the challenge here is the technology is still, as exciting as it is, far behind what we'd like to be able to do, and that's part of where Joelle and the research labs and others come in to help us build systems that can do a better job of understanding the detailed nuance that's often encapsulated in language as people talk and discuss things online.
And I mean, Facebook's not the only one working on this. You've also got Google and Twitter who are really trying to solve, I think, what they see both as a challenge and an opportunity, which is why Schrepfer in our conversation earlier actually called sort of this thing they're working on and attempting to understand language and nuance as sort of a big frontier of AI.
Well, thank you for sharing us with the new frontier.
Thanks, Duncan.
CBC's technology reporter, Matthew Braga.